Alrighty. So my name is Daniel Kolarich. I'm a group leader at the Max Planck Institute of Colloids and Interfaces, and we are here at the Max Planck Science Gallery talking about open access. And the best person to introduce open access is Nick Shockey. Nick.
Yes, my name is Nick Shockey. I'm the director of the Right to Research Coalition, which is a student organization representing over 70 individual student organizations that collectively represent about 7 million students in 100 countries.
So Nick, open access is a buzzword recently, and
yes.
There have been a couple of critical articles coming out about open access. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, so I guess first of all, the term open access has been around for about 10 years, being defined by the Budapest Open Access Initiative. So when we're talking about open access, what we mean is completely free, online, immediate access to all scholarly and scientific research articles with full reuse rights. So not only can all scholars and researchers read all these articles for free, but they can also do whatever they want with them. They can feed them into their computers as data and text mine them, or bulk download them and do these analyses. So that's sort of what we're talking about when we're talking about open access. So the study that you referred to was, or I guess not even a study, an article that ran in, I believe it was Science, a few weeks ago. That was criticizing some open access journals because they were publishing or accepted a sort of a phony article that had some, I guess, obvious methodological flaws. And so it was sort of bad press because these open access journals accepted them. But I guess the first key point is that the author of this article didn't actually send this problematic article to any subscription-based journals, only open access. So there wasn't really a control group to actually see whether this was something that's unique to open access or whether it's just a problem with academic publishing and peer review in general. Another one of the issues is that they actually chose the open access journals they sent this phony article to based off of lists of known predatory open access journals that don't have rigorous standards for peer review. And so the sample was actually quite biased to begin with. And actually some of the greatest, the best open access journals like PLOS ONE actually immediately rejected the articles, noted all the problems. So I think this issue is really one of peer review and of academic publishing more generally, rather than something that's unique to open access.
I completely agree. I mean, that was my first impression when I read the articles, that it's in terms of methodology, there was one important part missing, as you say, the control group. And what it's really highlighting is the fact that peer review is that actually the next big key issue that we need to consider there. It's not. I mean, we are on the way of getting open access accepted, and we're getting open access funded. But the key point is getting the quality paper, or let's say figuring out where issues are in a publication, a potential publication there, and get just stuff published that is actually really worth being published and not just something.
Absolutely, and they're high quality open access journals the same way they're high quality subscription based journals, and they're low quality journals in both of these categories as well. So I don't think open access necessarily makes it better or worse. It just means that all the articles are freely available for anyone to read. So great students like Jack and others and people that we can't even think of can build on the research literature that otherwise wouldn't.
Just a one short message for traditional publishers. What should they do in order to get more accepted, or how can we change the world in publishing?
So I guess our message for traditional publishers would be that the time for open access really has come. If you look at even the commercial publishers like Springer and Nature, they're starting to launch a lot of open access journals. Springer, one of the largest open access publishers, has Springer Open. Nature's launched a lot of open access journals. So I think we're really starting to see a big shift towards open access. And the commercial players that get that that's going to happen will survive, and those that don't might not. So I think the writing's on the wall, and that they should adopt open access or face some probably serious consequences.
So I think it's going to be interesting to see how evolution of publishing is going to develop in there. So thank you, Nick, for your take on that.
Thank you.